Has it come to an end now with the purest Tenere 700? The new 2025 Yamaha Tenere 700 and Tenere 700 Rally Edition were just announced, and this time, for the first time, they come with modern electronics and further upgrades. All details in the video. Hello and greetings to you all in another video with more motorcycle novelties. Right now, Yamaha has just presented the new Tenere 700 models. An update was indeed necessary because the Euro 5 Plus standard comes into effect in January 2025 and the CP2 parallel twin engine was not yet Euro 5 Plus compliant. First of all, when you look at it, there's a subtle design update, but at first glance, it remains recognizable as the T7. We have slightly modified fairing and headlights, for example, still LED headlights at the front, which are now arranged a bit differently and have a slightly different shape. We still have a 16-litre tank, but it is now positioned lower and further forward. Yamaha aims to offer more freedom of movement in the saddle through this. They write that they still consciously focus strongly on riding while standing up, suited for off-road use. They have also strongly oriented the ergonomics towards this. The rider triangle, meaning the geometry of the vehicle between saddle, footrests and handlebars, has also remained identical. Only the tank has moved a bit further forward and downward, which might not be a bad thing, since the top heavy weight distribution in the T7 has often been criticized. The saddle is also new. It is now no longer split, but a single piece. The seat height, however, remains the same at 875 mm, even though Yamaha emphasizes that the inner curve length has been kept as narrow as possible so that the Tenere remains as accessible as possible. The last small detail in the visual adjustments is the handguards, which now match the design of the rest of the motorcycle in color as well. Next up, the CP2 parallel twin engine, basically unchanged, though with a few modifications that will have a big effect. We still have this 270-degree offset in this parallel twin, which means it has a torquey character with a double overhead camshaft and 4 valves, just as we know it. But the key difference now is the electronic throttle. This means ride-by-wire for the first time, opening up a new world towards electronics. For instance, we have riding modes on the T7 for the first time, one sport mode and one explorer mode. In explorer mode, the power delivery is gentler. Interestingly, the intake channel has also been shortened, meaning there should be even more torque available in the lower RPM range. I'm wondering even more. That was already a defining feature of this CP2 engine, I would say, and it's why it works so well off-road for me at least, because it seems impossible to stall. And now, even more torque, that will be interesting. The ride-by-wire also enables traction control to be included on the T7 for the first time. And the ABS also has 3 modes. Not much has changed with the ABS. Mode 1 is for the road, with ABS active on both front and rear. Mode 2 deactivates the ABS on the rear, while keeping it active on the front. Mode 3 is essentially ABS completely off. The traction control can either be on or off. Usually you control and view all these electronic systems through the TFT display, which we already had in the previous Tenere models. Now, it's slightly redesigned, this 6.3-inch TFT color display. But what really excites me is the operation of it. The control elements have been revamped. No more of that clunky scroll wheel on the right side. Instead, there's a modern 5-way joystick on the left handlebar end. This should make switching through all the modes easier. And what's also great is that just like on my old first generation Tenere, there's now an ABS button right on the cockpit. And you can just press it. For those who say, I ride without traction control and without ABS, practically without anything, you don't have to go through the menu if you don't want to. You can directly turn off both with this button. Good feature. I should also mention some small electronic upgrades. For example, there are now 2 different layouts for the TFT display, one for Street and one for Explorer. Street has the classic road view with road information and a digital version of an analog tachometer. Explorer is more geared towards off-road, with key information displayed more centrally on the screen, making it easier to read while standing. Another small electronic upgrade is a USB-C port on the right side of the cockpit. So, it's not just electronics that have seen changes, the suspension components have also been updated. We still have KYB suspension components, now fully adjustable and even tool-free adjustable, even in the standard Tenere. Not bad. We have a 43mm upside-down fork at the front with 210mm of travel. Or in the also available low variant of the standard Tenere, similar to the previously available Explorer, we then have 190mm of travel. The aluminum triple clamps have also been redesigned to make them a bit more robust and stiffer. The shock absorber has a completely new linkage, retaining the same travel of 200 mm or 180 mm in the low variant with a more progressive response, and now includes a reservoir, making it fully adjustable and also entirely tool-free. The third main point in this update of the Tenere 700 is various small details across the bike, showing that Yamaha has taken customer feedback and real-world use into account. Over the past years, many people have taken on adventures, big and small, with the T7. There were indeed areas where improvements could be made, and Yamaha addressed these. For example, I myself have caught my pants several times on the cover at the end of the clutch cable, which sits directly on the clutch cover and has a small hook that's easy to get snagged on. Now, this cover has been rotated 35 degrees forward, clearing it out of the way and providing more freedom of movement for the knee and leg. Similarly, various mounting points on the rear rack have been reinforced for added robustness, especially when attaching accessories or luggage. The exhaust mounting has been revised, and we have an updated kickstand switch or sensor, as there were frequent issues with it. The gearbox has also been improved. For example, in the first 3 gears, the number of convex and concave teeth that interlock has been increased from 5 to 6. This aims to minimize the typical initial jerk that you might know from the Tenere 700, even when you're very gentle on the throttle. Similarly, the claw angle in gears 4 to 6 has been adjusted to reduce the playfelt when turning the throttle. All very exciting, and I'm eager to see if this will really be noticeable in practice. The final update worth mentioning is the new, larger and wider foot pegs that come standard, specifically the ones previously known from the World Raid. And now, that was just the standard Tenere. Quickly on to the Tenere 700 Rally, which is still, or once again, a more off-road capable and slightly more powerful version of the Tenere 700. We have larger Kayaba suspension components with 230 mm travel in the front and 220 mm in the rear. This gives a ground clearance of 255 mm. We have the familiar heritage paintwork, a tribute to the Yamaha Dakar bikes from the 1980s, which were very successful. A high front mudguard, known from the Rally, is also present. Small details like 228 grams lighter titanium foot pegs are included, as well as a thicker 4 mm aluminum engine guard. The final update is a special Rally seat that raises the seat height to a solid 910 mm and a third layout design for the TFT display called Raid, which is inspired by roadbook style. What does the new Tenere 700 cost? The standard Tenere 700, as well as a 35 kilowatt version for all T7 models mentioned today, starts at 12,299 euros in Austria. The Tenere Low is priced the same at 12,299 euros, and the Tenere Rally Edition is priced at 13,699 euros. The Tenere 700 will be available starting early next year, with March or April 2025 mentioned as the release date. I think it's a good balance between modernity and still somehow retaining the purest off-road focused approach that the Tenere 700 has had up to now. But do you see it the same way? Leave your opinion in the comments. Otherwise, all that's left for me to say is thank you for watching. We'll see each other again soon. Stay tuned for the EICMA videos. Take care and bye.